In the headlines, wearing of face masks in public to be made mandatory as Dominica experiences a spike in COVID-19 cases. Prime Minister Skerrit commits to supporting Liat following the regional airline's first flight back to Dominica after its financial troubles. And the Cultural Division pays a fitting tribute to Dominica's independence anniversary, releasing 2 publications showcasing the island's culture. I'm Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Showtime, shop at Quartz. We got all the things you want.
It's showtime at Quartz. Shop today and save up to 30% off on selected Whirlpool cooker. Plus, get a chance to win amazing weekly prizes with purchases of $299 and over. So don't delay. Get what you need now and pay absolutely nothing until 2021.
Showtime. We got it. Just what you need. Yeah, Quartz got it.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, a sudden surge in confirmed cases of COVID-19 over the weekend is forcing government to make the wearing of masks in public mandatory. This brings the number of confirmed cases to 50, with 17 active cases. Health officials say the last 7 of the 8 positive cases are contacts of the individual from Jimmet who has a travel history. One other positive case is a deportee who has been in the quarantine facility since arriving in Dominica on 23rd October.
The total number of positive contacts from the community of Jimmet and Maho is 11, out of a total of 71 contacts. Today, we have identified and swabbed 98 contacts from 1 location. These contacts are part of the same source, namely Jimmet. The current transmission type is a cluster of cases. There is no evidence of community transmission at this time.
The cluster of positive cases in Maho, Jimmet, and Belfast have all been linked to one known index case.
In my last statement, I did mention the possibility of an increased number of cases. This is not unique to Dominica, as similar trends have been observed within the region and internationally as well. As we all know, opening of borders will always increase cases. In our circumstance, illegal entry to our shores present a significant risk since we are positioned between 2 high-risk territories. However, additionally, the letting down of our guard regarding public health and social measures is a major contributing factor. It has been noticeable that as a people, we have neglected the very same measures and guidelines that brought us safety over the past few months.
The health minister says it is imperative that as a nation, we return to the basics of following the health protocols. He says the response must be at a national level.
Even at a community level, we must see it as our responsibility to educate each other about the protocols put in place by the Ministry of Health. I am therefore appealing to you in the hearing of my voice to please assist the Ministry of Health in protecting the country. The business establishments, religious groups and churches, entertainers, radio stations, parents, village councils, town councils must be part of the response to COVID-19. Indeed, everyone. Further to the advice given by the Health Technical Committee, the government wishes to strongly discourage hosting of all mass festive activities during the independence season from today, 30th October, until 4th of November 2020. In an effort to continue to help society protect itself from COVID-19, the Cabinet, on the advice of the Ministry of Health Technical Team, has taken the decision to make the wearing of face mask or face covering in a public place in Dominica mandatory. The necessary legislation to provide statutory authority for this requirement will be made in the coming week. So in closing, I am encouraging us all to avoid planning of mass gathering events and refrain from participating in spontaneous mass gatherings as well.
In related news, the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School has been shut down. This after one teacher from that school tested positive for COVID-19. A contact tracing rapid response team was deployed to ensure all possible contacts of the identified case were traced. The Ministry of Health says the PCR swabbing of students and teachers was successful.
It has been confirmed that a staff member of the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School has tested positive for the COVID-19 virus. The teacher is presently admitted at the COVID isolation facility. Ministry of Health officials were at the school today, October 30th, carrying out testing on staff members and students. The Ministry of Education is offering support to the entire staff and student body as we continue to follow directives from the Ministry of Health. The Dominica Association of Teachers has been apprised of the situation. As part of our precautionary measures, ITSS will be closed until November 6, 2020.
The Education Minister says she is hopeful that school will resume by the 9th of November.
A meeting was called with staff and PTA executive where everyone was apprised, and the Ministry of Education and psychosocial support commenced. I encourage everyone to continue to follow all protocols issued by the Ministry of Health as we endeavor to keep ourselves and others safe. Wearing of masks, respiratory etiquette, washing and sanitizing of hands, physical distancing. Despair and anxiety have always been a part of life on earth, but we can find strength, wisdom, and guidance in the Word of God. We are urging all to remain calm.
Still in health matters, Jolly's Pharmacy has released a statement confirming that one of its members of staff has tested positive for COVID-19. The company also released this statement to address what it says were erroneous statements being circulated, exaggerating the situation. Carlton Lando is Jolly's public relations officer.
Jolly's Pharmacy, a leading provider of pharmaceuticals in Dominica, is today reporting one confirmed case of COVID-19 among its staff population. The employee is currently hospitalized and has worked in a department not directly in contact with our customers. We are aware of a communique roaming on social media purporting contents written by our office. This information is false. First and foremost, we remain focused on the health and safety of our employees, customers, and partners. While it is impossible to predict the precise impact this pandemic will have in the communities we serve, we are committed to taking the appropriate steps to ensure our services continue to operate seamlessly for our customers. With immediate effect, our company has contracted the services of Pure Solutions, a sanitation company located in Mero, which has completely sanitized all of our business departments and locations, which included administration, warehouse, dispensaries, the mega store, and wholesale, using biofogging, an environmentally friendly technique that kills fungi, molds, and viruses. We will continue to practice social distancing, the sanitization of hands of customers and staff, the compulsory wearing of face masks, and the continued sanitization of our stations. We understand your fears, apprehensions, and anxieties at this moment. However, we can assure you, as an essential service provider, we will continue to practice and implement the strictest of measures to minimize, reduce, and prevent the spread of COVID-19. Let us all remember that every employee and employer belongs to a community and will have external connections and affiliations. It is therefore of vital importance that we, as a community, continues to support each other as we fight this dreadful disease. We continue to wish our staff and all affected, directly or indirectly, a complete restoration of health and wellness. Jolly's Pharmacy, the People's Pharmacy, will continue to serve you with efficiency, professionalism, and sensitivity, as we all pray for a cure and eradication of COVID-19. We take this opportunity to thank you for your messages, concerns, and prayers at this time. Have a happy independence.
In other developments, Dominicans being urged to exercise discipline of virtuous proportions to avoid COVID fatigue. Julian Morris explains.
The word of advice from Bishop of Roseau, His Lordship Gabriel Malzer, during his independence address. He says Dominica has had a good response to the COVID-19 pandemic, but citizens must remain vigilant to prevent the disease from becoming widespread.
We must keep in mind that we are part of a global reality, and that what happens to our associates, friends, and neighbors in the international world can adversely affect us. In that regard, therefore, it is imperative that as a people we remain constantly vigilant, observing all the necessary protocols and sanitization methods to keep ourselves and others safe. In the face of the danger of COVID fatigue creeping into our national psyche, it seems necessary, even temporarily, for every citizen to raise the observance of the COVID-19 safety protocol to that of virtue.
Bishop Malzi has commended frontline health workers who play a vital role in preventing the spread of the disease. He has cautioned the wider public to remain disciplined, observing and practicing the COVID-19 protocols.
At this point in our history, when hundreds of thousands are contracting the virus and thousands are dying on a daily basis around the globe, what better means would there be for a small island state such as ours to ensure that every single citizen is protected from the ravages of this invisible and insidious creature? It requires discipline in virtuous proportions.
Dominicans were cautioned to continue praying for the swift end to the COVID-19 pandemic.
As a Christian community, we often bring our concern, without exception, to God, who journeys with us, listens to our cry for help, and responds in time and in ways that are best for us. Therefore, we pray that God, in His own time, will relieve us and our entire world of the scourge of this pandemic. Let us be open to the opportunities this unusual experience affords us. In the meantime, let us remain united with a common purpose to do all we can to keep each other safe.
Dominica's 42nd anniversary of independence is being celebrated under the theme Embracing New Opportunities.
Prime Minister Skerrit has welcomed regional airline Liat's first flight to Douglas Charles Airport since its return back in the air. The airline landed at Douglas Charles Airport on the weekend.
I think it is an important development. We've had so much to say about Liat, but Liat was no longer, and we were all missing Liat, and so it's been a wonderful spectacle for Liat to be back in the air. I want to commend highly my colleague and friend, the distinguished Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Honorable Gaston Brown, for his heroic efforts, and I think he has defied all the odds and all of the skepticism, and he has been able to cause Liat to be in the air, and I believe he deserves the commendation of all of us in the Caribbean region who have benefited and who will benefit from the presence of Liat. We will certainly be part of this. We're looking at a couple of options. One, direct cash investments, and also the taking over of the Liat's wage bill in Dominica for a period of time. And of course, we will iron out these things with the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, but certainly Dominica sees Liat as a true partner and one who has been committed to regional integration by ensuring that we can get from one island to the other.
You are watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Welcome back. A fitting tribute to Dominica's independence anniversary is how the most recent publications of the Division of Culture are being described. On Monday, the Cultural Division added 2 new publications to its collection of literature promoting Dominican culture. Chief Cultural Officer Raymond Lawrence says Heritage Dominica Volume 4 showcases aspects of Dominica's life and the changes which occurred over the years.
Our 3 previous volumes of old Dominican photographs also capture aspects of Dominican life many years ago, and the pictures all tell a story and take us back to days gone by. And each photograph allows you to envision what life was like in those days and how times have changed through the years. As Dominica celebrates 42 years as an independent nation, I think this book is a fitting tribute by the Cultural Division to a country and a culture that is loved by so many, both here and abroad.
The second publication, titled Dominican Expressions, Volume 3, captures the talent of Dominican writers. Minister for Culture, Roslyn Paul, is hopeful the publications will help the country's youth have a better appreciation of Dominica's history and culture.
We would see in this volume all of those aspects that are being depicted, but which is very important to ensure that we document these for different for reference, and to have our younger generation appreciate how we lived before, how people lived before, what was the then, and it's only when we understand our history we can appreciate the now, the today. So this book is very important.
A Creole wear poster was also launched on Monday in a continued effort to promote national wear of Dominica. And an emphasis on cleanup and beautification for National Day of Community Service 2020. Julian Morris tells us more.
National Day of Community Service is the day set aside to practice Kudme, where the community comes together to tackle projects for the betterment of all. This year, the Day of Community Service will be observed on Wednesday. Local Government Commissioner says this year the focus will be on cleanup and beautification. And while this calls for people to work closely together, Toussaint is calling on the public to observe health protocols issued by the Ministry of Health in light of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Cleanup and beautification is a difference in the sense that we are going to heavily concentrate on the cleaning and the enhancement of the communities. And so when we talk of cleanup and beautification, we're speaking of planting of exotic plants and flowers. We're talking of cleaning of drains, cleaning of overhanging trees, if possible, painting of maybe bus shelters and facilities and that sort of thing. So primarily, we're looking at that for National Day of Community Service, November 4th. And importantly, we'll ensure that and want to encourage people to continue to practice this health protocol of social distancing, of wearing your mask, of hand sanitizing and hand washing and all of those sort of things.
No white goods will be collected on Wednesday. An announcement will be made as to when this will take place.
We need to inform the general public that we are not going to be doing white goods for National Day of Community Service. And the white goods, we're speaking of the old fridges, the stove, the old lumber, and the galvanized and that sort of thing. That will be done subsequently. And of course, we'll inform the general public as to the dates. And there's a fair reason for that. We're talking of COVID. And importantly, what we don't want and what we saw happening last year is a lot of white goods were in the communities 2 weeks, 3 weeks after National Day of Community Service. What we want is to heavily concentrate on the white goods collection. I mean, that's all we are going to do for that day, you know? So that's why we're setting a day aside or days aside to execute the white goods collection.
Feedback from the community groups indicates a good turnout on National Day of Community Service, and Toussaint is reiterating that individuals take the health protocols seriously.
Based on the response that we're getting from some communities, there may be the issue in some communities, but by and large, we are going to see, based on the feedback that we're getting, I mean, you will notice that I've been bombarded with calls. Since morning, people are calling me in the communities, so people there's that sort of enthusiasm. But like anything else, there may be people, particularly the older folks, who may feel that because of their health risk, they may not want to expose too much, that sort of thing. And that is why we are encouraging people to observe the health protocols in terms of your mask, in terms of your hand hygiene, washing of your hands, in terms of disinfecting your hands and that sort of thing.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, the headlines again. Wearing of face masks in public to be made mandatory as Dominica experiences a spike in COVID-19 cases. Prime Minister Skerrit commits to supporting Liat as the airline makes its first flight to Dominica following its financial troubles. And the Cultural Division pays a fitting tribute to Dominica's independence anniversary, releasing 2 publications showcasing the island's culture. Feel free to access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis. And to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Have a happy independence and join us next time.